Okay, this video is how to lose weight fast. Common question I get asked. I've recently had some people asking me this. So first of all, look at the epidemiology, because one of the things that blocks people from being successful with nutrition, diet, weight loss is they get confused. They say there's so much contradictory information, they just give up. And what I would say is not really. If you look at the big populations where people are skinny, they eat starch-based diets. Look at the Chinese before 1980. They're eating 90% of their calories from white rice. A billion out of a billion rice eaters can't be wrong. Look at the Vietnamese, how skinny they were eating the rice-based diets. Look at the Papua New Guinea eating sweet potatoes. Skinny, 93% of their calories. The, potato eaters out of Peru and whatnot in Ireland back in those days. All right, it makes people skinny. And these foods, white rice, sweet potatoes, and regular potatoes all have only 1% of calories from fat. The lower the percentage of calories from fat, the skinnier the population becomes. And I would say just try it for a couple months. Say you'll just try it for 3 months and see how it goes. Because some people are freaked out. Oh, I can't deal with the psychological stress of changing your diet. Well, just try it for 3 months, see how it goes. And I would also say be biblical about it. What I mean by that is the people who get good results are the ones who say, thou shalt not do this. Thou shalt not eat any animal foods. Thou shalt not eat any oils. Because when you go all out and you make a big change, you're more likely to get a big result, a big benefit. People who are half-assed, which is most people, they tend to not achieve anything. So go all out, see how it goes, and you can go from there. It's hard to do something only part way. Like it's hard to have one piece of pizza and not have 10 of them. So it's best to not eat pizza. Okay, the best diet, of course, is the low-fat, low-sodium, whole food, 100% vegan. And I emphasize whole food in there as well because you want to avoid processed food. You ever heard of the Nauru? You can look them up, Nauru. I made a video about the Nauru. They're the fattest people in the world. Average adult body weight's about 230 pounds. They kind of sold their birthright, kind of like an Esau. They basically traded their land to these big companies to mine it for phosphate. So they lost their farmland, and then they live on an island, and then they had all the processed food shipped to them, and they became super fat. So processed food, they put tons of chemicals in it to make you overeat, and it's full of estrogenics as well, mitochondrial inhibitors, all kinds of bad stuff. Okay, when you eat starches, basically they're low caloric density. They're about 1/4 the calories of even just a regular carbohydrate, pure carbohydrate. So they stretch your stomach because of low caloric density. That's early satisfaction of hunger. And then they go through your intestinal tract and are slowly absorbed because it takes time for the enzymes to peel the fiber off. Starch is basically a polymer of glucose wrapped in fiber. And the best starches for somebody trying to lose weight are the ones we just mentioned. White rice, potatoes, sweet potatoes, because they're only 1% of calories from fat. The bean that has the lowest amount of calories from fat is lentils. They're only 3% of calories from fat. So that right there is all you need for starches for getting started. And then you're going to add to that veggies especially. And then because it takes time to peel that fiber off, you get a slow absorption of glucose into the blood, and you maintain a prolonged blood glucose for a prolonged amount of time. You satisfy your hunger with the fewest number of calories. Starches are the best food to satisfy hunger. Potatoes are the best food to satisfy hunger. Okay, it's good to eat more veggies for losing weight. As a matter of fact, and it's good to eat veggies first. Eat your veggies first. And a lot of stuff I'm telling you, I know you've probably heard this before. These are things that Dr. Mcdougaller teaches. These are things that Chef AJ teaches. And they make common sense. And I've done them myself too. They're correct. Okay, good to eat veggies first to stretch your stomach. And there's not hardly any calories in vegetables. All right. Dr. Mcdougaller usually recommends people eat about 90% of their calories from starch. But he says if you're trying to lose weight, you should increase the percentage of calories from vegetables. He even says you'll lose the weight faster if you shift to only eating 70% of calories from starch and then get another 30% from veggies. And he said if you even want to supercharge the speed at which you lose weight, you could even drop the starch down to 50% of your calories and make the other 50% veggies. But he says don't try to eat more veggies than that. You'll go crazy and it won't be possible. So that's basically the plan. What else? He recommends avoid fruits and avoid sweets because they're more concentrated calories. Again, we're aiming for low caloric density. Chef AJ has a good quote. She says, if it's in your house, it's in your mouth. So get all the junk food out of your house. So if you're having a stressful moment of weakness, you won't binge on that. It's better to eat your calories than to drink them because that slows down absorption as the enzymes of your intestinal tract have to do the work instead of having it done already for you by some company that makes the drink or with a blender. Avoid salt, added salt, MSG and MFG. MSG is monosodium glutamate. MFG is manufactured of glutamate. Essentially the same thing. The point is these are flavorants that make it taste better and they'll tend to get you to overeat. They put a lot of this stuff in processed food, gets people to overeat. You don't want that. Avoid excessive psychological stress or sleep deprivation. Also caffeine. All of these things will increase cortisol and catecholamines, and these will lead to binge eating and obesity. So you don't want to do that. So try to get to sleep. Getting to sleep. The key to getting to sleep is getting to bed earlier. And I know sometimes it's difficult because you're working a lot. Caffeine is just, self-damaging behavior. Stupid. I made lectures about all these things. I'm just kind of going through a quick here as a reminder for people who wanted me to answer these questions again in one connected video. Avoid estrogenic chemicals. Estrogen is a fat storage hormone. Tells the woman when she's pregnant, estrogen levels go a lot up when a woman's pregnant to store more weight, gain more weight. The baby might need it for energy. So the way you reduce your estrogen chemicals is filter your drinking water. It's easy to do. You just need a carbon filter to remove organic chemicals like estrogens. What else should you do? Don't minimize your use of personal care products. Almost all of them have estrogenics in them as preservatives. Estrogenics are preservatives because they're antimicrobial. Okay, so you're going to find them in most personal care products. I don't even use shampoo. I don't use conditioner. I don't use laundry detergent or any of that stuff. You don't need it. Let's see. I made a whole bunch of videos on how to avoid estrogenics. No alcohol, no beer. Those things can lead to weight gain. No oils, dietary oils. They're not even real food. Not one drop. Don't be half-assed on it. No oils. There's a reason why you say not a drop of them. No nuts, coconuts, seeds, or avocados. They're way too fat. Nuts are like 80-90% fat. No soy. Soy is about 40% of calories from fat, 37 to 40%. So you want to avoid all these high-fat foods. So if you do these things, crank up your veggies, just balance between veggies and starch. Do it for just a couple of months, see how it goes. Just weigh yourself once a week, Saturday morning after you void in the morning. That'll give you a standardized body weight. Keep it written on a piece of paper or a little calendar or something. And if you do these things, I think you'll be happy with the results.